Now you must understand, before we get into this video, everybody that came up somewhere may have came up somewhere different than other people. You may grew up in an all-white neighborhood, an all-black neighborhood, an all-Spanish neighborhood, or it might be a neighborhood that's just all mixed in together. Frequent question that I get from people is, does prison make you racist? Do you get racist once you land in prison and you have to do time and you're forced to live with different races? For this video, I'm going to be giving y'all that straight real spill. So make sure you tune in.
Haha, I'm the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2, cause violent first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be speaking on, does prison make you racist? Alright. And I've had this like in my list of videos to do for a while now. But someone actually just recently commented it again under my video. So I was like, you know what? It's about time that I put this video out here and I let y'all know my God's honest opinion, and I let you know how it is when it comes to the different races that are being inside of prison. Now, like I said, you may have came from a straight white neighborhood to where you didn't grow up around that many black people or that many Spanish people, and vice versa. You may have grew up in a hood. You might be a black person or a Spanish person that grew up where there wasn't that many Caucasians, all right? But when you find yourself in prison, you're going to have all different races in there. You understand? Now, I'm speaking from a Florida perspective because I know on the West Coast, a lot of places are segregated and, you know, they split races and gangs up and separate them, and they got their own quads, their own dorms, their own rec yards, you know, etc. at certain places. Down here in Florida, there is none of that. Down here in Florida, everybody is mixed together. It don't matter if you're white, black, or Spanish. You can have a white, black, or Spanish, or Asian bunkie. You can be placed in the same cell with a different race, okay? And me, through my experience of being in prison, I only had maybe on one hand white bunkies, okay? Maybe on one hand. You know, if I were to actually think about every bunkie I had that was white, it may be enough on one hand, all right? Other than that, majority of my bunkies were either black or Spanish. Now, to get into if prison makes people racist, there's two ways I'm going to break it down for y'all, all right? The way I look at it is, if you go to prison and say you're white, for instance, right? And when you go in there, you know, next thing you know, by you living around black people, you living around Spanish people, if you end up turning into someone that is racist and you don't like other races, I'm going to be real with you, you had that shit in you from the get-go. You been not like them, all right? And the reason I say that is because just like you got to put up with being in a cell or in a dorm or housed with them, they have to do the same with you, all right? So I don't feel like you can personally, you know, just overturn, you know, and just, if you were cool with black people on the streets and you had no problem with them and you grew up with them, then all of a sudden you go to prison and now you're totally against them, then you had that in you. Okay, and what it was is you wanted to like be down with your race so bad that you let a lot of people put shit in your head that probably was already against another race. You understand? And I remember when I personally ran into somebody in prison at DeSoto, my last camp I was at. He came up to me and shit, and he was talking to me and everything, and he was like, oh, I remember you, blah, blah, blah. I used to be down there in Davie, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't remember him personally, but I remembered his sister. So when he came up to me and he was talking to me and he was telling me, you know, this and that, yeah, bro, I live up here in Lakeland now, which is another part of Florida, not where I'm from, you know. And I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, yeah, this and that, this and that. I realized he had a bunch of lightning bolt tattoos all on him, you know, and he became an Unforgiven, all right. Unforgiven is the white gang that we have down here in Florida. So me, I remember when he came over to my dorm, when he came over to my cell and was chopping it up with me and shit, I remember I was like, how'd you manage to become an Unforgiven? You know, because that means that you're basically, you know, you're sticking with your race, and you're trying to act like you didn't come up or wasn't where I'm from. And my neighborhood, you know, we were all mixed together, you know what I'm saying? We had whites, blacks, and Spanishes. My neighborhood's still the same way to this day, you know what I'm saying? And out of my group that I still hang out with today, I'm the only white boy. You see? And it's always been like that. I grew up with Chicos and blacks, you know? So when I said it to him, he's like, what you mean, bro? He's like, you know, this is just how I adapted. But what it was is him leaving Davie and then going over there, up there to Lakeland. You know, they got a lot more, you know, mudding, you know, when they ride four-wheelers, dirt bikes. They got, you know, swamps and shit like that. You know, so he got more country, more hicked, I guess you can say. And then he ended up switching to where he was once hood in my neighborhood. And then now he switched to being, you know, Unforgiven. All right, now, he was one of them type of people that I feel like probably had it in him from the get-go. He just wasn't comfortable with himself when he was like in my hood, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't the true him. He was basically faking it to make it. And then when he jumped out of hanging out with a bunch of rednecks for a while, now all of a sudden he's fully tatting and he's repping this shit. He done been back to prison 2-3 times. Every time I see him online, I see, you know, he still takes pictures with his brothers and all that, and he's actually in the gang, you know. But in my eyes, he had to have that in him before he went there in order for him to roll over like that. You know, he must have got tired of how it was in our neighborhood and must have got tried by more, you know, different color races than he did his own kind. And then him being in prison, he just felt like, oh, they're shady all around the board. So you know what? It's about time that I show my hand, and this is what I truly am supposed to be. You feel me? That's how I look at it from his perspective. You feel me? Which means I feel like he must have been had it in him already. You know, you're not going to just wake up one day and be like, oh, that's it, I'm racist now, I'm against all these different colors. No. And what it is down here in the state of Florida, when you go to prison, 9 times out of 10, the camps you go to, there's going to be more blacks than there is whites. Okay, and I'm used to that. I'm prepared for that. I already know, because that's how our county jail is. So when you go to a different institution and you see that you're outnumbered, you know, it's already in your mind, you know, to where, you know, continue being yourself. You feel me? I'm not going to turn on a different race just because there's more of them, or they control the compound, or they run the compound. No, because what would it be if it was the other way around? What if there was way more whites than there is blacks, or way more whites than there is Spanish on the institution that are running the compound? Then what? And me personally, me growing up where I grew up at, there's always been more blacks and Spanish than there was whites anyways. See, I'm from East Side Davie, okay? I'm not from West Side Davie. So when people look into Davie and all that, they look into the wrong neighborhood than the exact neighborhood I'm from. I'm from East Side Davie, which is a small little portion. You feel what I'm saying? But when you come across these people that aren't used to growing up with different races, then of course, you know, any power they can, they're against them, okay? You got some people in prison that will straight up be white and they'll be against blacks. And then you got blacks, you know, that will be against whites, you feel me? And when you're in prison and you see how black people act, Spanish people act, and how white people act, you know, at the end of the day, being in Florida, it's normal. You feel me? It isn't to where it should change your mindset on that culture or on that, you know, race. That's how I look at it. You feel me? Me, I don't care what color you are, you know. Down here in Florida, we don't have colors to us. We don't go off of colors. It don't matter if you're white, Spanish, or black. We all look at each other the same. We all talk the same way. It doesn't really matter, you know. But then when you find yourself in prison, you know, they send you to different places in Florida. They send you up there in the Panhandle, which is at the tip top compared to where I'm from. And then that's when you see the differences. That's when you see it gets way more, you know, racist than it does down south. Now, down south camps, you might fucking see half the compound officers got gold teeth. Whether they're white or black or Spanish. You see, it all depends. You feel me? But as far as going to prison and becoming racist, I don't think if you didn't have nothing against that culture before, it's possible. All right, now, the way I look at it is if a black person called a white person a cracker their whole life, they was against white people from the get-go, calling them a cracker. So when you go to prison and you find yourself in the institution and you're constantly putting, you know, on for your culture and you're trying white people, calling them a cracker, taking advantage that you got more numbers than the white people got, you trying the white people and stuff like that, then a part of you is racist against whites. And a lot of it has to do with not this era, you know, but back in the day, back when they had slavery and they had things like that, you know, the white boys in my age group and the white boys after me, you know, we will all come up as to where that cracker word will always get thrown out there anytime you get into a situation. And it isn't because of anything we did, it's because of shit that happened back in the day, you know, before our time. You understand? And when people do that, you know, when they're cracker this, cracker that, you know, and when white people are against black people this, black people that, you know, or the Chicos, cracker this, cracker that, or, you know, Chico this, Chico that, or you spick this, spick that, you know, when they do things like that towards each other, a part of them's already been like that. You feel me? It isn't like they just decided, oh, that's it, bro, it turned me racist. Because if it did, then you've already had that in you. You see what I'm saying? I can't think of anybody who literally just swapped, who went there and was cool with all different races and then just all of a sudden felt like 100% against these races. That wasn't like that deep down inside from the get-go. It's kind of like it forces you to show your hand. If you're against a different race, you doing time with them, it's going to show you what you truly feel, how you truly are against these other cultures. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, down here, you know, on the East Coast, we're not separated. All right, it doesn't matter your color, it doesn't matter your charge, it doesn't matter none of that. You could be in there for a severe murder charge, and you could be on the compound running around with someone that's got driving with a suspended license, someone that's got violations of probation, someone that's got burglary charges, someone that's got pawning shit, false ownership at a pawn shop. It doesn't matter what you have. You could be rape charges, it could be kidnapping charges, it could be any type of these charges, and it doesn't matter. It ain't like you got a special yard that you're going to be placed on, a special institution or nothing like that. No, they throw all y'all in there together. You feel me? Same as how the charges don't matter, neither does the race. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, the way I look at it is if a white person went to prison and then they came home racist, like if prison made them like that, like all of a sudden they're against all different races, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, it would be because they had a bad experience in prison and they constantly was getting tried, beat up, put down on, extorted. They were forced to be hold down man, robbed, all that by a different race. They wasn't standing up for theyself. You get what I'm saying? They wasn't standing up and putting on for theyself. They had no nuts during the situation. So instead, they just grew hate on the inside, and the next thing you know, they're against them. You feel me? That's how it would be. Same thing with the blacks. If the blacks go to prison and all of a sudden they came home, they hate white people, it would be because how the guards were, how the, you know, a lot of officers that are white, you know, the way they are and shit, how officers get away with beating inmates left and right. You know, you think about it. We call the police down here crackers. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter what color they are, they'll be like, oh, they go to crackers. You see? So, and this is coming from a white person. You feel me? We call the police crackers. Like if the police roll by, we'll be like, oh, they go to crackers. On the institution, on the compound, in prison also, they're called crackers, the guards. That's what they're called to us. You feel me? So it isn't that any of us are racist. It's just that's the way we grew up. That's the you know, how should I say it? That's the vocabulary of how it is being brought up. You understand? Just like when it comes to colors. You know, we only know the difference between a blue crayon and a red crayon because we grew up knowing that that shit's called blue and then that color's called red. You feel me? It's the same thing. If you're brought up to be told that that's what that is, then that's how you're going to be brought up and speak. You feel me? And when someone that's black is against whites when they come home from prison, if they end up being racist, it would be because they had a bad experience also in prison. Same thing with the Chicos. They have a bad experience when it comes to whites. And it could be something the guards are doing, or it could be something that the white inmates are doing. You know, the white inmates may get away with more shit at that institution. Or, you know, the officers might be white-sided, and they might show the whites more interest and more respect and more love, you know, as far as them being an inmate, than they do different color inmates. You feel me? So that'll make it grow as hate inside the blacks and Spanish against whites, because they'll feel like, man, them white boys always get away with everything. Them white people, it's because I'm not white. And then they might hate that the whites get extra privileges. But it's not like that everywhere you go. I've never been at a camp where the whites got more love or more respect from any of the damn guards. You see what I'm saying? But there's certain things that would lead to where someone would find themselves showing that they're racist. And then, you know, you may think it's because when they went to prison, it made them like that. No, when they went to prison, it made it come out. Same thing with the Chicos, the Spanish people. There's some black people that I met, some of my homeboys that was in prison. They used to hate Chicos. They felt like because them Chicos always had nice, they knew them Chicos was gonna rock together, all that. And anytime something would go down, a Chico would get involved. And they felt like, you know, they're tired of them feeling like they're the shit. Who cares because they got numbers? You feel me? I had a homeboy that was a cutthroat. His name was Cut. You feel me? And he used to be like, man, I hate Chicos, bro. I'll wet that Chico up. I'll wet that Chico up. Boy, I hate Chico. He hated Spanish people more than he did white people. You see? And it's just because certain institutions make it to where you have incidents amongst races, and it just piles up in your head. You get what I'm saying? If you get into 5 different incidents as a white boy, and it's with 5 people that are black, you know, you may feel like, man, black people be trying me, bro. Man, I ain't with that shit. And you might have some hate towards some black people on the streets when you get out. If it was the Chicos that were trying, you may feel the same way. If it was half Chicos, half blacks, then you might not like anything, and you might just join a straight, solid white gang and might, you know, just, you feel me? You never know, you feel me? But as far as like going in there and accepting that everybody is whole, everybody is equal no matter the color of their skin, I don't find you getting turned into being someone that is racist. I don't see it happening if you've already accepted everybody equally for the color of their skin. You feel me? Because then it's like, if you've already accepted everybody and you know that there isn't no difference other than the colors, if you look at them the same that you would look at anybody is the same color as your skin, then little incidents or major incidents shouldn't even pop up in your head or even lean in your head to the racism side. You get what I'm saying? Because you would be used to it. You feel me? It's different if you grew up in an all-white neighborhood and there was barely any blacks or any Spanishes. It'd be different for you to kind of be hard to accept everybody's equal because you grew up in an all-white suburb area. You know what I'm saying? And if you were black or Spanish and you grew up to where it was all black or it was all Spanish neighborhoods, you know, like Hialeah, which is, you know what I'm saying, which is in Dade County. You go there, it's all Spanish up and down the street, Spanish music at all the stores. You know, if you grew up in them type of areas where there was barely any white people, then of course the white people look foreign to you. So when you're around them, you haven't accepted them as whole because they didn't grow up where you grew up at. You feel me? So that's going to make it to where you already ain't accept them fully because they didn't grow up like you or around where you're at. So now when you get around them, of course, you may respect your race and a different race, you know, equally. You may expect, you know, blacks and Spanish the same, but there ain't that many white people in your neighborhood. So since you barely see them, how can you respect them the same amount? Right? How can you give them the same respect of what you're not used to? It don't make no sense. There's no way you can respect something that you never grew up around. Something that you don't really know anything about. You never really see them until you get put in prison and now you're surrounded by a bunch of them. And then when you see that one color's against another color, you're going to feel like, well, yeah, they weren't where I grew up at, so I'm against them too. That's the only reason you could be against them. You see what I'm saying? And people in Florida don't really show their hand as a race card in prison. You feel me? People that get themselves in situations, I never ever see them pull the race card out. It is never a whites against a blacks thing or blacks against the Spanish. It's never something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's more gang related than it is race related. Because down here in the state of Florida, I don't care what gang you name. You can name Bloods, Crips, GDs, Cutthroats, Zoes. You can name fucking the Nietas. You can name MS-13, Thresses. You can name whatever you want to name. You feel me? There is different color races in all those organizations down here in the state of Florida. You feel me? And I've told y'all this numerous times. You could get robbed by a GD, a Crip, and a Blood. And it could be a white, black, and Spanish person. That's just how it goes. Like, you see people mobbing the compound together, robbing together. They're all 3 in different gangs, and they're all 3 different colors. They're all 3 different races. You feel me? It is not a race thing down here in the state of Florida. You feel me? So for someone to go to prison in Florida and ever say that they're racist or they're against that color or anything, they're not. They're putting their life on a plate, man. They're damn near deer meat, because you're gonna have everyone against that individual. Even people, if you're white and you say that you're against blacks inside a prison down here in the state of Florida, you're going to have the blacks, the Spanish, the Asian, and the whites who grew up in an urban area against you. And there's going to be so many people that are on your ass that your own clique, your own brothers, your own same people who rep what you rep, who feel the same type of way you feel, that talk to you on the low, up under their breath, and let you know, you feel me, they rock the same and this and that. Them boys gonna leave you in that water, and they ain't gonna rock with you. They ain't finna be like, yeah, we feel the same way. No, it isn't happening down here in the state of Florida. You know what I'm saying? They'll low-key say some shit behind each other's back, but they're not gonna fucking put it out there that this is how I feel. No, because that shit will get dealt with quickly and gone on to the next. You know, now on the West Coast is different, but I'm speaking on the East Coast. You see what I'm saying? And you can't really blame, you know, the prison system. You can't even blame, you know, the people in the prison system, you know, for allowing that, because that's how everyone was brought up. Everybody was brought up around each other. Everybody was brought up to where color don't mean nothing. That's why you got white boys walking around saying the word nigga. To us, that's like dog. You know, anybody be like, oh, that's my dog. Nah, that's my nigga. You feel me? And you got black people that say, oh, Frog, that's my nigga right there. Frog, what's up, my nigga? You know, like, people don't understand, like, it's a different culture. It's totally different. It's a different atmosphere, different environment, you know? And me being from Florida, and to where we have less whites than we do blacks in our jail systems and our prison systems down south in Florida, you would think that it's a problem the way that we talk. But no, it isn't. You see what I'm saying? There's black people and Spanish people out there that talk the same way I talk, that say the word nigga when they talk and everything like that, that will dead ass go to war against blacks and Spanish, their own race, over a white boy. You feel me? Think about it. So that would show y'all that for who don't know why the N-word is said and why people talk saying the word nigga and this and that, you can't look at it like, oh, who gave him the skate? Who's making it? There is no skate. There is no past. There is no none of that shit. You know, down here, that's how we brought each other up, and that's how we was raised. You feel me? So if you were to be black or Spanish and you felt some type of way about a white boy saying the word nigga and you came at them down here, you're going to have your own colors trying to harm you over that white person who said that, because that is one thing that is not in nobody's head as offensive. It's different when you say it in a racial slang, like term, than it is if you're saying nigga, you know what I'm saying? But people who ain't from down here won't understand that, you know? And I've seen people who didn't even grow up in a hood or urban area go to prison, come home, and say the word nigga. Like, now they talk like that because where they landed at in prison and was there for a couple years, they done adapted to that vocabulary, that slang. That's what they was around. You get what I'm saying? And who do you think taught them all that? Who do you think they was around in there for them to start talking like that? For them to come home and talk like that? What, you think they was quiet the whole time they was in there? When they came home, they adapted, now they talk like that? It could be possible. But no, because you could talk like that and it don't mean nothing. They can peep the differences in people who try to say it, you know, to fit in or to look scary or to look like they're about that life, or to, you know, that are purposely rolling it off their tongue to make it look like they talk like that or was raised like that. People can see that. They can see straight through that. No matter how you say it, they could see that you're just trying to say it, rather than when people talk and how their energy is and how they act and everything and who they're around, that they talk the same. Then that's when you can peep and you can see that he was brought up like that. You get what I'm saying? So for you to go to prison and all of a sudden start talking like that, you adapted around them same type of individuals who was talking like that, right or wrong. You feel me? So all that did was take a pie white boy or a pie Spanish kid or a black kid that didn't get brought up anywhere urban, that, you know, was a straight A student, never spoke wrong, never nothing, went there, you put him around a bunch of people who spoke the other way, and he adapted to it. So he turned more ghetto than he turned more preppy. You see? That's how it goes down here. You're not going to really see no ghetto person go to prison and turn preppy and come home and talk preppy. You feel me? But you could see people who are preppy, you know, go to prison and turn on over to where they come out and now they talk like they're ghetto. You feel me? Because there isn't really a race thing down this way. And I'm speaking on down south Florida, because like I told y'all, when you go up north, it is different. When you go up there, even the black officers got dip in their mouth. And they be calling white boys crackers and calling black people the N-word with ER at the end. You get what I'm saying? That's how they talk. You feel me? That's up north prisons. You feel me? Compared to down south. When you're down south, you got all the officers that live nearby. You got all the officers that are damn near the same way you are. They just live there. You know, they live there and they fucking talk the same way you talk. So you end up blending in. You get what I'm saying? And to wrap this one on up, me personally, how I feel when it comes to going to prison, can prison make you racist? My honest opinion is, if so, you've already had it in you. Straight up. That's how I look at it. Because if I went to prison and, which technically damn near, I'd say out of 15 incidents, I'd say 13 of them were with a different race. And not once did it cross my mind on some racist shit that I'm against that race now. You feel me? Not once did it. Because I was going through with black Spanishes on the streets. So there's no way that would change me or make me hate that race or be against none of them. Some of my closest dogs were from a different race. To this day, my main homeboy isn't white. My main homeboy that I've known since kindergarten isn't white. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. My other main homeboy that just died a few months ago, that got stabbed in my neighborhood, that died, that went to prison, did 12 years, came home, tried to rob someone for their bike, tried to rob someone for a bicycle, got stabbed and killed. You feel me? Him. He was black. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can look it up. Y'all can look up, man tries to steal bike, gets stabbed and killed. Literally. Went to prison, fucking was down bad, came home, bada boom, bada bang. You see? So it's like, I could never ever say or blame prison for someone turning racist. Maybe it helped them bring it out and show their hand of what they really was holding in that deck. But other than that, I gotta disagree with prison being the cause of people turning racist. But anyways, man, y'all leave it in the comment section. You already know that's what the comment section is there for. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Y'all drop y'all's opinion. You know what I'm saying? We can, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You feel me? We can disagree. You know, we can agree. It don't really matter to me. But, you know, put your input inside the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Let people know what it is, how you feel. You know, if you feel like it definitely makes you racist, or if you feel like it don't, put it there. You know what I'm saying? Let people see what they say to each other. Let's see what people think, how people feel. But my opinion, I just gave it to y'all. But anyways, y'all, I'm going to wrap this video on up. I appreciate y'all watching. Like I always say, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. And keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, clout chasers, people with pull out goals that want to rap online and act like they fucking perms, that are scared to pull it out to show people they fake. Keep all them clowns out your circle, man. Till next time, this the one and only Frog.